It's big. Every time there's a Conor McGregor fight, it's big. We're in Las Vegas. We're fight capital, you know. International Fight Week, even more crazy. The heat is on. The heat is going to be even more on come Saturday night.
Does it get you your blood pumping, the buzz that Conor brings to this sport now that you're matched up against him one again? Does any side of that entertain you and get you fired up knowing that it's going to be the biggest story in sports this week?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm excited. You know, we got other big events going on. You know, you got the World Cup going on, and still people are talking about Holloway versus McGregor too. So at the end of the day, it's a great position.
In shape, focused. You know, he's a dangerous man. If anybody can come back after 5 years and put it all together and start winning against the best guys, it's Conor. You know, he's a special individual. Even though he's a horrible person and I don't like him, I got to give props where it's due. He has some God-given gifts.
Find it, and you just seem to will it. You know, is it as easy as that, or how? Like, I know you just kind of described it, but how did you get that confidence back to walk in there and face a guy like Max Holloway on Saturday?
Man, I don't know. It's above, brother. It's divine. It's not me. It's above. That's how I feel with it. I could question my own self with that also, but I have it. I'm confident, and I'm gonna showcase it. I love this arena. I love fight night, fight week, and God willing, I'm back here next week and the week after. How many weeks is in a year? 54. There you go. You know, I could fight every week if it's a go. You know, before the injury, I had maybe 3 within the year. People don't recall that. And yeah, now there you go. We plan on getting busy here.
Can we get back to that? Or will even the business, will the fight business allow it when you almost get too big to fight that frequently, right? Or can we get back to that level of activity?
I wish for it. I wish for it. So if I'm the man in the arena, right? I'm the one that's making the walk. So if I'm the one who's pushing for it and campaigning for it, I'm sure that is the case. Now I've said my piece with the Ultimate Fighting Championship and their staging of my bouts. And they've said their piece, and you know it's kind of fallen on.
Conor doesn't need to fight. He has everything. I respect the fact that he's coming back to fight so much because it shows that he's a fighter in his heart. You know, me, I got to a certain level and I decided to walk away. You know, Conor, he's back. It shows that he's still that fighter despite having so much success. I'm rooting for him. Proud of Conor. I'm a massive fan. I think I will be for the rest of my life. You know, he has had a lot of struggles, ups and downs, just like I have, but he always gets back on his feet, which is a huge example to so many out there. So,
did we ever think that McGregor was coming back?
He always threatened coming back, didn't he? But I think that like there's been so many stop starts with McGregor that
6 years.
Yeah, no one knows where we're up to. But you know what? I watched a couple of his interviews recently. He seems in a really good place. I know it's only an interview, but he does seem in a good place. When McGregor's on form, he's absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal. He's beat Max Holloway before. Max Holloway, in my opinion, really, really good fighter. One of the best ever. Didn't look great in his last fight. Did not look great against Charles Oliveira at all. He looked like he kind of like was questioning whether he wanted to be there or not at points. But he was fighting a grappler, so you know, when it's all striking, which it probably will be, sometimes when you're fighting regular, that helps as well. Sometimes it works the other way. It just depends where they're at. But like I say, I heard a couple of McGregor interviews. I was very impressed with what he was talking about and how calm he seemed and how focused he seemed. I know it's just an interview, it doesn't really mean anything, but he's up against an active guy like Max Holloway. But I think the thing is that power doesn't leave. Like he needs one shot and it can be over. So I'm more favouring towards a McGregor win, to be honest.
I can tell, but how does Holloway win this fight?
Holloway wins by just out voluming him, being at the right spots at the right time. Very tall, lanky guy. Using good footwork, using good timing. His timing is definitely going to be better because he's been fighting way more regular than McGregor. I think that there's definitely a possibility of Max Holloway picking him off and moving. But I would favour more towards.
The upcoming clash between Conor McGregor and Max Holloway is anything but a typical UFC main event. It features one of the sport's biggest stars attempting to prove he still belongs among the elite against a veteran warrior who has built his reputation through years of battles inside the octagon. As fight night draws closer, experts remain divided. Many are backing Holloway because of his incredible cardio, durability, and recent activity, while others believe McGregor's elite striking and fight-ending power could change everything with a single punch. The debate continues to grow, leaving fans wondering which fighter will ultimately prove the experts right.
Because I blocked it. The problem is I'm still sitting on my ass, you dumbass. Like, that's the problem. But I remember him saying it didn't land. Well, okay, you're right, it didn't. It's still illegal to throw to the fucking head when I'm sitting on my butt. So, anyways, that's me going off my rant. But
no, and I appreciate that perspective. I think people out there will really appreciate you sharing that. And I understand as well, like with Tom Aspinall stepping into this rematch with Cyril Gane, you know, like you're talking about it fucking with your head. Like this guy just basically couldn't drive his kids around for like 8 months because his eye's so fucked. You're going to go in there and be like, hey man, this is kind of important. Like, please assure me you're going to do something about this. And just quickly before we get
you're going to pay attention to it at least.
Yeah. Before we get into the big card, one more thing. I saw Jamal Hill is moving up to heavyweight. You obviously just had a blast out performance at heavyweight. When you see people like Jamal Hill moving up to heavyweight, you're always looking forward to having before a fight.
You know, Sean Strickland is pretty funny. We certainly get to see a good side of him in those fighter meetings, and we get to talk technically, but I always enjoy having a few minutes with Sean. You know, Derek Lewis, I think, actually, believe it or not, is lightened up over the years, so our last fighter meeting with him was particularly funny. You know, they all can go in a number of different directions. In terms of the other part of that question, I'm thankful that not too many fighters sort of get annoyed. I think oftentimes if a fighter's going to bring up a past call or something they take issue with, they won't use the fighter meeting as the setting in which they want to sort of challenge you on that. They might message you on Instagram. But thankfully, not too many fighters have gotten annoyed. We try to keep it short and sweet and on to the next. But yeah, I mean, Strickland is amusing. Yeah, I'm trying to draw on a couple of different.
Like you just said, the blackout walkout was a surprise, and I actually only found out. I only asked Conor the other day. I was like, "Did you know about that?" And he didn't know either. So I remember as we're leaving the locker room and the cameras were there, and I kind of recognized that that's what they do for a blackout walkout. You know, they meet you at the locker room, so you knew something was up. But and then the crowd and everything, it was an incredible reception, and we got off, as you can see, to a great start. Well, I think that was it Max's fifth or sixth?
Sixth fight, yeah.
It was a sixth fight in the UFC. Yeah. That's why I kind of laugh at the commentary is, you know, Conor was fighting a boy. I was like, well, he had a lot more UFC fights than Conor did. Only a couple of years in the difference. But there was a fair bit to watch from him, to be honest. It was nice to go against somebody that we had no real worry about, you know, a deep double leg or anything. He's going to stay in his feet.
I mean, just judging by ring rust from Conor McGregor's side, I think Max Holloway, you know, he's been very active. It is a welterweight fight, I believe, right?
It is, yeah.
I mean, that's a bit crazy because obviously Max Holloway, I think, looks good at 155. So it will be weird for him adjusting to a bit of a bigger, you know, obviously McGregor looks massive these days. So having to adjust that new weight class might play a factor, you know, but I think because of the activity of Holloway, I've got to give it to Holloway.
The kid in me wants to see Conor do it, you know. I'm obviously a big Conor fan. I think most of the kids from my generation grew up watching him and were inspired by him. And I think a small part of us will always believe that he's still capable of doing it, you know. I'm a big Max Holloway fan too, but honestly, I think it's an interesting matchup, especially it happening at 40 or at 70 is the most intriguing part. Like Max has been around for a long time. He's had so many fights, you know. I know Conor's older than him, but I think in terms of fight time, Max has probably taken more strikes and has had more fights. And I think in his last couple of fights, we've seen a little bit of the mystique